Okay. Um, um, Hi all. Been setting up my camera to have a good view at the page, and I got the very useful feedback that I should look into my mic. So I've now changed the mic. I think the sound will be better now. Thank you very much for such comments. That helps a lot. And I noticed also that the charcoal drawings seem to be doing quite well compared to the other types of drawings. Although there's one with some pencil and ballpoint pen that somehow seems to capture or get a lot of likes or views, but all in all, more views for the charcoal sketches. I thought I'd do a charcoal sketch there for today and be able to also test the sound. Now, let's see, I had some reference here, a fairly simple one, a graceful standing figure, and I think I'll keep it fairly loose and abstract. Her arm is raised up. Maybe I won't capture that in its completeness. I'll just start and just have some fun with it. This is the overall shoulder line, and you know what, I'll indicate where I think the head is going to be and how large it's going to be. That seems about okay. Very long neck. Let's see how this shows up on camera. Well, very lightly, but that's a good thing. And then there's this graceful gesture with the body leaning toward the toward the left ever so slightly, and we kind of get a mass for the rib cage here, and that flows into the groin and crotch area, with maybe the pelvis ending up somewhere over there, and this arm raised up doing something like so. I do find it quite relevant in this case to get some grasp of the side plane and front plane of the head, as well as the line going from eye to ear, and make sure that I capture that the way I want to. And now I can look for the groin lines, already get a sense of whether they are at the right location, whether this proportion is fairly okay compared to the proportion of the size of the head. I'm gonna move it up. Well, maybe it was okay where it was. Let's Let's see if I can work with what I have. Hourglass kind of figure is going to definitely become part of this sketch. And it seems that I'm okay for now. And I probably don't want to spend too long before I move to some light and shadow shapes. So maybe I can already do that. Let's grab the mirror, have a look. Okay, she does seem fairly flat, but I think all in all, if I know what's going on, I should be fine. And I can slightly indicate some important shadow areas, pretty much straight for all of the torso, and then an indentation for where we have the shoulder mass and the rest of the arm. You see a lot of shadow underneath the chin and on the side of the face. I think her overall form should be a little bit more to the right. Okay, maybe this is already enough, even though it's very little to go by. Let's just squint and look for some expressive indication of the initial shadow. I'm being fairly careful here, probably even too careful for my liking. But okay, if I don't feel the confidence to come in with dark strokes immediately, then that's okay. Don't have to force the issue. I can build it up with a lighter stroke, a bit easier to erase and amend, and once I feel comfortable, I can always boost the contrast. This gives me kind of a light, almost underpainting like treatment. And by the way, looking in the mirror now, definitely the breast here on, well, her left side, our right side, is catching shadow. I should also think about where the navel is. It's a beautiful, graceful pose, but a difficult one at that. Well, I have to say the charcoal is maybe not to my liking, but I'm choosing to work with it anyway, because why not? It's just a crude setup, a crude sketch. Nothing has to be perfect. I am liking it, so I think I'm confident enough to kind of get a darker value in play. I can also look for some nice compositional ideas, but that is an area where I still have a lot to learn. I'm thinking to kind of follow this outward or downward taper. And I think a lot of composition ideas are also about blending background and foreground, not separating them everywhere, but looking for the connection between the two. Now I'm getting fairly confident. And yes, I'm losing some lines and some information, but that's perfectly okay. Let's see. What do we have here? Well, it's already a fairly a nice painterly kind of sketch. So I think what's left to do, well, I'll erase some of the initial lines that are maybe a bit bothersome to my eye now. But I'm just gonna blend and blur and pull the charcoal around and then see what happens. No worries, just good clean fun. So I'll grab a piece of tissue paper, toilet paper. I'll fold it to a nice little padded wad. And try to maybe initially drag the charcoal along the general direction or surface. So I'll go like this. And it's a bit up to my mood and liking how much I want to drag the charcoal. But in this case I'm doing it quite a bit. Also along the direction of the legs here. The more charcoal I've put down, the more, of course, I can drag it along the paper. And I can have some fun with, other tools, just to see what happens. I should maybe not forget this overall kind of compositional rhythm, and this fluffy brush really grabs the charcoal and puts a soft tonal wash on everything. Here I have another kind of sponge, makeup sponge idea, which I can use. I'm sometimes not sure what the effect will be, but I do know that I can probably erase much of all this charcoal anyway. So again, I don't have to be too scared or too careful, too stifled. I really lost a lot of information here. Maybe I want to retrieve it, maybe I don't. Not sure yet. You just see a faint hint of the overall shadow shape, which I like very much. I'll grab the mirror again. Yeah, cool. Some strokes that bother me, some lines. Wait, let me grab a bit kitchen towel paper, wipe off my hand so the grease and sweat is not too heavy. It is a warm summer day. Well, from here on out it's basically having fun and thinking about what might work for the sketch. So I'll keep the reference in sight, but I'll also just carefully have a look at the sketch so far and treat it as a work in and of itself, independent of the reference. So here I'm definitely taking the opportunity to find the hips, this outer bone, I think is called the great trochanter, and this beautiful straight on the other side, coming in to then also look for the other great trochanter, which is lower because of the tilt. Something like that. The overall center of the crotch should scooch up a bit. And let's take a little bit of sanding paper and kind of filing a little bit of a taper toward this or to this about 5 millimeter piece of fine charcoal. Yeah, let's clean it off. And I think this gives me the tool that I want to strengthen some of the dark values. Now applying more pressure. You know what, I'm going to stay with a more blocky tool. And really getting to put in some strong value now. And the thing with fine charcoal is that even though it may look fairly committal, it's still very much malleable. So I can still very much drag this charcoal around, blur out the edges between different areas, get a soft edge where I want it, erase it, and soften the overall value quite a bit. So in that sense, there's still a lot of wiggle room. That's why usually you can start with a much firmer dark tone than I did in this case. Once again, it's dependent a bit on my overall confidence level, which, well, wasn't too high for this particular sketch. And that's okay, it doesn't have to be. If I feel I need to test the waters a bit more before I come in with a bold stroke, then that's okay. I just do it. Now some final refinement of values. A little bit for the belly button. And of course I also have blending stumps. I like them for tiny areas where I need to get a little bit of a softer edge. Now it's again the question of how far I want to take this so-called render stage. I think I should challenge myself to not overwork it and over detail it. I do have this innate tendency to do so. So I should also just learn to look at the simplified abstraction and appreciate it for what it is. It's kind of very expressive, suggestive quality. Let's get rid of this edge just a bit. I think I should also simplify here. Liking this sponge today. Let's look for some final refinement. I think this hip going to come up higher, and the mass of the left breast here can be indicated a bit more. And get this shape of the shadow underneath the chin a bit stronger. Into this straight and maybe I want to give just a suggestion of the leg. It's beautifully placed. A little bit of shadow to suggest the inside of the arm there, and then we get to show a little bit of this arm raised up. Let's just indicate the shadow areas, or blur it together, I should say. Yeah, today is makeup sponge day. And this part of the hips is really quite low. It's, I think, one of the things that provide the kind of beauty that I see in the sketch or in the figure. So we have the hip bone, and then let's blur this all out. We have Iliac crest, greater trochanter really low. Yeah. And let's see, a little bit of the shadow on the leg that is carrying the weight over there. And let's just put in some blending. Let's not forget my TP. Well, what do I think of this? Well, it's definitely the essence of it. So, in that sense, I think I can be, well, not too displeased with the result. It's not my best work ever, but if that's gonna be the criterion for having fun, then well, I might as well quit sketching now. Scrap my other arm. Should I do a hint of the nipples? Well, I'm not sure. Maybe steal some charcoal. Difficult. So, like I said, this seems to be in that point where over rendering it will maybe kill the kind of energy that I seem to like so much in the sketch, or in the reference, I should say. So it's probably about time to just quit it, at least for now, and maybe return another day to see whether I still like the sketch. Yeah. I think I'll leave it at this. Maybe you can get a little bit more of a silhouetted outline for the head, at least on this side. why not finish off with a nice S-curve for the calf. Okay, I think I should just stop and quit the recording here, because it's probably only gonna get worse from this point on out. So difficult to say, okay, this is where it stops. Enough of these shenanigans. Yeah, does look like a fun sketch. I'll blur out a little bit of the detailing in the breast area, a bit too much, but well, hope you enjoyed this a little bit at least, and I'll see you next time. Yes. A little bit aggressive here. Well, okay, that's it. Thanks, guys. I'll rotate it to the page a bit, even though it gets blown out. Okay, bye all, see ya.